Masechet Berachot and Daf Lamed Daled Amud Bet, and also there's a Sefer Kerem Shlomo. There is a question that is asked: who is greater, the one that learns Torah, or you can like this one, or the one that supports Torah? Who is greater?
We said already.
We said it already. Well, look what it. 1 second. 1 second. He says over in Masechet Berachot Daf Lamed Daled Amud Bet. Rabbi Yochanan said. Rabbi Chia bar Abba, Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Chia the son of Abba said the name Rabbi Yochanan. Kol ha-nevi'im kulan lo nitnevu'u ela limasi bitol letam chacham. All the nevi'im, all the prophets, they only prophesied one thing, meaning that they knew that in the future, that to which people comes great reward, to those people that marry off their daughters to Talmidei Chachamim, right? To people that are learned. Veloseh parkmatya letalmid chacham, one who does business for the Talmid Chacham, ulemehaneh letalmid chacham min nichnasav. And he allows the Talmid Chacham to use from his possessions or assets. For this, Rabotai, they prophesied. They knew the great reward that is coming. Aval, however, Talmidei Chachamim atzmam. However, the people, the Talmidei Chachamim themselves that sit and learn Torah, what is the reward that is coming to them? You guys remember this? Ain lo ra'ate Elohim zolotecha. No eye has ever seen. For when a Talmid Chacham learns Torah, no eye has ever seen the which reward comes to him. Only Hashem, He Himself knows the reward that is coming to Talmid Chacham. Rabotai, the Kerem Shlomo says something very fascinating. He says over here, when can we say that learning Torah is which I never, the reward that the eye has never seen? Rabotai, when you're learning Torah l'shma, I want to just show you over here. You're learning Torah for the sake of learning Torah. Why am I learning right now? Because Hashem said so. That's it. That's why I'm learning Torah. He says over here, Godel chashivut hachzakat Talmud Torah, ulehenot Talmidei Chachamim. Great is the importance of upholding Talmud Torah and to benefit Talmidei Chachamim minichasav, right from his possessions. What we just read. Yedu b'shar bat rabim, v'kvar hirichu b'zeh harbe b'sifrei HaKodesh. They already lengthened on this very much in the holy books. ואף אנו ננהוג בשפלי גלימה בפרט אחד מבואר בספר הקודש כי עוד יתראה מעלתו של המחזיק ידי לומדי תורה מהתלמיד חכם הלומד תורה גופה. רבותיי, he says, I want to add over here something that anybody, Rabotai, anybody that supports a Talmid Chacham has an advantage over the Talmid Chacham himself that sits and learns Torah. You hear what I just said, Gindin? A Talmid Chacham that is being supported, the one that supports me has an advantage over the one that sits and learns Torah. He's going to explain. The Yadu, he says, it's known, the Ikar Hachen, V'hachashivut shel halomed Torah, hu rak im hu lomed l'shma, ve'osek ba lema'an lema'lot ratzon yitzro bar'o. Rabotai says, it is known that the importance, when it comes to learning Torah, that's only for person is learning Torah for its own sake, for the sake of Hashem, in order to do the will of Hashem, but not for any other reason. But not to make like a shovel and to dig for himself, God forbid. He says what he means. Unfortunately, you can have a person learning that he's learning. Why? He's not learning because Hashem told him to learn. He's learning because he knows from that learning. He's learning because he knows from that learning, you know what's going to happen? He's going to become rich. They're going to give him honor. All the good is going to come to him. That's why he's learning. So there's two types of people when they're learning. Either they're learning because Hashem said so, or either they're doing it because for their honor or for the wealth or etc. Chachamim emphasize very greatly on the sin for a person that learns Torah to try to benefit himself. When you're learning Torah, you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it only because Hashem said so. It would have been better for a person that learns Torah for any other alternative motive, but not for Hashem's sake. It would have been better that he should not have been created. Again, we all know the rule that if you do it shalol lishma, if you do it not for its sake, eventually you're going to come for its sake. Right? You're going to come lishma. But right now he's just trying to give you the top of the line, the top level. V'nimtza Rabotai, he comes out. The av im yashav adam kol hayom bebeit hamedrash. Rabotai, even if you have a person that sits all day in the study hall, ala Torah v'ala avodah, right, learning all day, davening, af im yikabel schar avur hishtadluto lelmod Torah, even though he's going to get reward for the fact that he exerted effort in learning Torah, im kol zeh, Rabotai, with all this, ya'abed harbe tova, he's going to lose a lot. He's going to lose a lot of goodness. Because he's not doing it for Hashem, he's doing it for himself. He wants the name, he wants the honor, he wants to be called a rabbi. Huh?
He knows that he's doing that.
Correct, 100%. How do you know if a person is doing the Shem Shemaim or not? When nobody's looking, what are you doing? That's how you guys know. It's not when you're learning in front of the world and the world sees, oh, look at that Talmid Chacham all day, he sits and learns Torah. I want to know when he goes home what he does at home. Huh? Chas v'shalom, did I say that? On the contrary, you have to learn and you have to try to be able to reach this level where you're doing it for Hashem. It is much easier to serve Hashem on a level where you, in a way, just close your understanding. Look, right now you come home, you have an option to watch TV, or you have an option to learn Torah. You ask yourself, what does Hashem want from me? If you say what I want for myself, we know what's going to end up happening. But if you say what Hashem wants from me, you're going to learn Torah. Even though you're tired, even though you don't want to, you're going to do because Hashem said so. You with me? It's like, I don't know if you've ever seen in the army, when you have a general and then you have soldiers. They have to, I used to St. John's, you had to be recruited as an army soldier, whatever. I wanted them to pay for my college. Eventually I didn't do it. My father didn't let me do it. But do you know the rigorous training you have to go through? You could be hours upon hours under the sun and stay in one place. You can't move. You have to make number one, you make number one, you make number two over there. You can't, because they're training you to be steady and to always attack the goal. Why you're doing that? For what do you need it? Because you have a general on top of you. You can't do anything else. Everybody's working as a team. So it's over here. When Hashem says something, if you do it because Hashem said so, it is much easier versus when you get your own feelings involved. When you get your own feelings involved, like, should I do it? Should I? Okay, next time, tomorrow, after tomorrow, and you never get to do it. But that's what he's trying to tell you. But he's telling you in any event, he's telling you, even though a person is learning Torah, but the person should know, if he's not doing it l'shem shamayim, if he's not doing it for Hashem, he loses a lot of goodness. V'lo yagi lo oto hasachar asher ayin lo ra'ata ha'me'utid le'olomei Torah. He's not going to get that reward, what we just read in the Gemara. The Gemara says anybody who learns Torah, Gindan, you with me? Anyone who learns Torah, no eye is going to see the reward that he's going to get, correct? Which Talmidei Chachamim? The ones that learn for Hashem. You have to repeat something 100 times, you'll repeat 100 times. You don't just want to cover information. You don't want to just hear something new. You want to understand the material, you want to break your head, because this is Amelis B'Torah. But that's not what we have it today. We try to go everywhere where it's easy, and that's what the Gemara says. People love sun, people love the day, people hate the rain, people hate the night. Why? Gemara is compared to the rain because it's hard, you always have to think. I got those stories, Shalom Bayit, all these things are compared to the sun and the day where people like it taking it easy. You understand? That's what he says. When this whole rule of Ayin Lo Ra'ata, that no eye has ever seen, that the reward that is coming to the Talmidei Chachamim, that's only if they do the mitzvah for Hashem. Because He commanded me to learn. Mikivin shelo kiyem mitzvah kitikuno, since he did not fulfill the mitzvah the way it was instituted, b'shelimut hanidrash, right? It was asked of you to do it in completeness. Therefore, he says, even though you will get reward, but what? You don't get that reward that the Gemara promises, where no eye has ever seen it, only Hashem. However, he says, what about the one that is supporting the Talmid Chacham? Can you imagine you have a guy, right? Poor guy, he's giving $10,000, I don't know, whatever he's giving to a few guys, whatever it is. These guys are doing it for the wrong reason, but he's working like a dog and he wants, for whatever reason, he can't sit. He has ADHD, whatever he has, I don't know. So he wants to be able to support them. He has a portion with them, but they're not taking the learning serious. So he says like this. Amnam, however, he says, Shonehu adavar etzah hamachzik yedei lomdei Torah. But it is very different, the one who upholds the ones that learn Torah. Shafilu Talmid Chacham she'oto hachzik b'mamono, even that Talmid Chacham that person is upholding with his money, lo lamad lishma, he's not doing it for Hashem's sake. Rak ye'od nafsho lehenot miketro shel Torah, he's doing it for his own soul. He wants to get the honor. He wants to have the title of rabbi. He wants to sit up front. He wants people to give him honor. For these reasons, Mikol Makom Rabotai, let's do this. Avur Chelek HaShutfut Shelo Mikabel Scharo Mushlam Ki'ilu Lamad Torah Lishma. The one that is supported the Talmud Chacham, he gets that learning Torah as what? As if he learned it Lishma. Even though the guy, the Talmud Chacham, is not doing Lishma, he gets a full, basically he gets a full check. Huh?
You would want to support a guy like that.
No, why? No, how much more so? I hear what you're saying. Rabotai, Rabotai. He the one that's supporting the Talmud Chacham, who's not learning for the sake of Hashem. That guy who's supporting does not lose anything from that guy's learning just because he's not learning Shalol Lishma. That's what Rabotai we see over here. Very important concept. We see two very important points. Point number one, Rabotai, we see over here. The important when you learn Torah, and this is very hard, and I'll tell you why. Because a lot of us, sometimes when we come across a Rashi or Tosfot or Gemara, where you tell a person, come to learn Torah, a lot of us, unfortunately, a lot of times we're tired, and we can't do it. Or we have to be places, and we can't do it. Why should I learn now? I could do it any other day. Rabotai, but if I say it's like I don't want to say Havda Elu Avdalut, but if I say it's like a job, or it's an obligation on me, that if I don't learn today, that tomorrow in the next world, this day it's already missing, which is technically it is missing. Rabotai, if you program in your mind, if Hashem said so, I have to do it, it becomes much easier. But if you leave it up to you, yes, do I do it? Do I not do it, Rabotai? You will never do it. So we see from over here, that was the point number one. Point number two, what do we see? The people that support the Talmud Chachamim, even the Talmud Chachamim that don't learn for the sake, Rabotai, I want to make something clear. I am not saying that they're fooling around. I'm not saying that. I'm telling you they're learning, but not for the right reasons. But if you're supporting a person, Bichlal, that from 8 hours you only push 3 hours, Rabotai, you have a big problem. That's what they always say. Before you get yourself a khatan, right? You have a daughter, you want to get yourself a khatan, you should always go with it, just like you buy a house. When you buy a house, what do? You get lawyers, you make sure there's no liens, correct? When you get a khatan, you see the way he learns. See whose friends are, see where he davens. What time does he come down? 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock? Or is he 6, 7 o'clock in the morning? How many hours does he learn? What kind of phone does he have? What he has on his phone? Rabotai, you always got to do background checks. So therefore, after that, people don't have problems after they get married. Baruch Adonai Olam, Amen, Amen, Rav Chaim Igal, Ben Hashem, Ratzah HaKadosh Baruch Hu, L'zakot Yisrael Leficha Gir Balahem.